Today we're going to check out Wicked for Good on 4K Blu-ray. I'm not here to talk about how good or bad the movie is. I'm only going to talk about the audio and video quality. And why just the audio and video quality, you say? Well, I'm not a movie critic. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 6.5K. It's got a 4K DI. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 137 minutes. Aspect ratio is 239:1. And the audio is in Dolby Atmos. Before we take a look at the Dolby Atmos Object Viewer to see how active this audio mix is, if you don't know what the Dolby Atmos Object Viewer is, you can find a list down below in this video's description that tells you all about it, what it does, and where you can get it. There's also a list of all the equipment that I used for this review down there as well. Alright, so I thought the first movie had a pretty lackluster audio mix for being a musical. This one I thought was a little better, and it also got a few decent surround moments thrown in. At roughly 41 minutes 46 seconds, there are some swirling magical effects floating around the room with bass that thumps and pulsates like a beating heartbeat, which dips down extremely low. At 1 hour, 4 minutes, there's a stampede of animals running through the scene with birds that are flying overhead, activating the top channels, with the other animals trampsing throughout the lower channels. There's also some really hefty bass response here as well. Now, one of the biggest musical numbers comes in at around 1 hour, 30 minutes. In this part, the vocals stay firmly locked in the center channel, with most of the musical accompaniment remaining in the front stage. You'll hear this thunderous bass that claps in the background, with monkeys flying in the top channels, with even more swirling sound effects moving throughout the different speakers. Now, in this musical scene and all the other ones, most of the music is very front heavy with very light musical extension that gets spread throughout the lower and the top channels. That's why you're seeing all of my channels being lit up. It's not really anything substantial sound effect wise, it's just some really light extension to give the scene a slightly more spacious, bigger feel. So while I felt the first movie sounded flat, I think this one is a little bit livelier. As for the bass response, it could dig surprisingly low for some of the bigger action scenes, although I wouldn't call it demo-worthy. But I wasn't disappointed like I was after seeing the first movie, and the dialogue was always easy to hear throughout. Now, I may have been a little bit off base giving the first Wicked movie a 6 for video quality. For that specific review, I was using a JVC NZ700, which, for my screen size, that projector was just too underpowered to really brighten up the image. With the projector I have now, which is a little bit brighter, I would have to bump up the score to maybe a 6.8. Wicked for Good looks the same as Wicked. It's got some really good fine details which are noticeable in close-ups, so fine lines and wrinkles are very sharp. Textures on costumes and props are nicely rendered and highly resolvable. It does have a slight softness to the image, which keeps it from looking overly digital, which they accomplished by using custom anamorphic lenses and specific lighting, rather than using film emulation. As for the HDR, again, this looks like the first movie for better or for worse. For the brighter daytime scenes, there's every color in the rainbow on screen. However, the overall movie does look more flat and dull rather than having bright, bold, vivid colors, which you kinda would think the Land of Oz would look like. Now, there are a lot more darker scenes in this movie than there are in part 1, and the black levels do lean more on the grayer side, which again follows this flatter, duller color palette. I've seen a few podcasts with the director and cinematographer talking about the color grading process for this movie and the choices that they made, so this is a very intentional choice on their part. Some people are going to like it, and some people are going to hate it. So if you've seen the first movie, you know exactly what you're going to get with this one. I don't think it's going to blow anyone away for HDR vividness, but the image does have some nice bright specular highlights that do pop at times. So if you're a fan of the first movie, this would make for a visually consistent back-to-back double feature with one movie not outshining the other. So I'm going to go with a 6.8 for video. Audio-wise, I felt that this was a step up from the first Wicked. So while visually, if you're watching these one after another, they'll look the same, but you will end up with a more exciting sounding finale. The surround development was a little bit better, and the bass response was improved. So I'm going to go with a 7 for audio. So which movie did you like better, Wicked or Wicked for Good? And what scores would you have given this movie? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Now, if you do want to pick up this movie, I will leave some links for it down below in this video's description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media. And if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content or great discounts on audio and video gear, then stop by my Patreon page. Be sure to like this video if you found it useful and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you again in the next video.